All right.
So the point I guess I'm trying to make here is if you're that this is a marketability opportunity for the WNBA because we're in such a pivotal spot with the emergence of Caitlin Clark and what she means to women's basketball. I'm not saying just WNBA, women's basketball as a whole. And Caitlin Clark has been bringing in numbers that even a lot of the Final Four for men's teams were not bringing in during women's college basketball. That is translated over to the fact that you have WNBA games that feature the Indiana Fever where they're having to move to larger arenas because they don't have room for them. And that's great. We want to see that. Now, how big of a missed opportunity is it if you don't capitalize that with an Olympic push? Because now you have the world. It's a global thing. Think about what made Kobe, what made Jordan, what made Yao Ming, right? If you want to go on a different side note, right? What made them so big, their brand? They were a global brand. And you can make the argument that what happened with the Dream Team elevated NBA basketball and names in NBA basketball to such a level that maybe those people would have never seen because they were so stuck back in those days about how overseas Euroball, they were still thinking, people need to remember this, they still thought Euroball was superior to NBA back in the early 90s, late 80s because they were spanking that ass years before.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a common misconception that we started putting our pro guys in there just for the mere fact that we were losing at a sport that was, invented here. But it's also because the NBA was in a high marketing point at that point in the late 80s and early 90s that they knew if they put their stars in the Team USA that it would just draw more eyes to the NBA, and that's
right.
And they're missing it with one player right now.
I agree, but I also understand the sense that the WNBA is still going to continue to grow with or without her on that Olympic team. I understand the marketing side of it. I understand that potentially they dropped the ball, but it's also like no participation trophy should be given. Like, and she shouldn't want to be on there just because of what her name is, in my opinion. Like, you should earn your spot for that team like every other girl did that's playing better than you. Because if she made that team based on these statistics, she's not going to play that much. And maybe she will because they dominate. So, yeah, she'll get PT, but, like, she's not going to be in the starting rotation, and it's not going to be the marketing ploy that everyone expects it to be. She's going to keep growing the game here, which is already happening, and the WNBA is growing. I have seen more shit on the WNBA on my social media feed than I've ever in my entire life. It's not just Caitlin Clark. It's not just Caitlin Clark. I see all these women now.
Can I also say this? Like, of all of the women, I think the one that continues to get missed, not noticed as much as they should, and enough credit is, first of all, Angel Reese is doing nothing to her reputation, but in my opinion, completely ruining it. She's making herself look like an absolute clown, and in doing that, she is, allowing some of these girls to really outshine the fact that she's tied for fourth in rebounds right now.
She's playing really well. It's just every time she opens her fucking mouth is when she starts to like there's one thing I don't like about her, like when they interview her, and like maybe this is just media training or maybe this is, but it's like she said it probably 10 times in every interview I've ever seen her. She always goes with this, that's just how I'm from Baltimore. That's how, nobody. I don't give a fuck if you're from Baltimore. You are a professional. You are a professional. There is a way you need to act now. Like you being from Baltimore and doing things a certain way. This is the WNBA. This is professional basketball, and honestly, it's been very entertaining to watch. But I think her teammates outshining her too.
Is remember this, like in Dom, I'm sure you watched some Angel Reese in college.
Yeah.
She benefited a lot from having Haley Van Leet there. Like people forget Haley Van Leet ain't no scrub. Like, that's going to be probably your number one pick next year. She was on there helping her get set up to look as good as she did in LSU, number one. Number two,
she probably should have never transferred there.
She should have never transferred there.
No.
But the fact that Angel Reese came into that year thinking she was going to be the number one pick and having Caitlin Clark completely obliterate her run, because that's what happened. Let's be honest. Like Caitlin Clark completely outshined her. I think there's a lot of mental there too.
I think last year they knew it too. The problem is that none of these women, and I get it to a degree. It's like if you've been working at a company for 10 years and busting your ass, and this new sales guy comes in and starts crushing records, and your fucking boss starts kissing his ass, like, you're gonna feel a type of way about that. And you're not gonna want to give him credit. But at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark is what's helping this brand. and they do need to get behind her. They need to get behind her. Her team needs to get behind her. Just like what's his face said what's his name? Matt Barnes said the other day. He's like, where are your teammates at? You're getting shoved to the ground. You don't have an enforcer on your team.
Where's your coach at,
like,
guys?
where's your entire team to protect the brand, protect the asset? Well, of course they're ass, but still, come on.
Their coach, you mark my words, will not be the coach at the end of the year. Did you guys see what the comment she made after that? After she got that whole situation happened, and they said, why didn't you intervene? And she got real quiet and goes, because I didn't want to get fined. Could you imagine? I'm not even going to go to the NBA.
I mean, the fines are like $500.
Could you imagine Becky Hammon?
Oh, she would have lost her shit.
Getting question on that. If that was Asia Wilson, oh my God, she would have been ejected in a heartbeat. But you have arguably, this is your Kobe Bryant. Let's put it that way. And you have the opportunity to be Phil Knight at some point, right? Phil Jackson. Sorry, Phil Knight. Phil Jackson. And you're going to allow them to do that? Oh hell!
Draymond Green said it best. He was like, he was talking about the situation, and he goes, you ain't knocking over Steph like that. He was like, I'll get ejected before I let you knock over Steph like that. That was his exact word. He's like, you're just not gonna do it. He's like, you can knock me down or whatever. You're like,
the WNBA is just such a weird. There's two things here that I think are hurting them. Obviously, number one is Caitlin Clark's hurting herself a little bit. Like, she's having a tougher transition to the pros. She's a great shooter, but she's a liability on defense. She turns the ball over a lot, and she kind of can't handle the physicality of the game so far. Like, she's getting picked on, which is going to happen. It happened to LeBron. It happened to all these guys that come in. The second thing is that the WNBA is just a weird thing because there's so much conflict of interest. It's the only professional sport where these women are fucking each other. Like, it's not happening it's not happening in any other sport.
In our group chat, we was talking about that.
That's real.
It's not happening in any other sport. Like, these are women playing against their fiancés or playing against their ex-girlfriend, and it's like, because what it was a game the other day where one of the teams got into it, and the girl on the opposing team stepped in because the other girl was her fiance on the other team.
Yeah.
It was like when Marshawn Lynch was protecting Marcus Peters when he's playing for the Raiders.
It was weird. It was weird, bro.
Taurasi, isn't she married to Sue Bird?
No,
right?
no, they're not married.
No. They're like best friends.
Yeah, they're best friends. But they are married to other women.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought I could have sworn that Sue Bird was married to another WNBA player.
She might have been or dating one at one point.
I think Diana Taurasi was at one point.
Okay, it was one of
I think she was married to, or she maybe still is, or I think she was in a relationship with another woman that was in NBA. I'm pretty sure.
That's what I thought, and like that's, and also too, to kind of piggyback off of that, like let me ask you a question: why in the hell is Brittany Griner on this Olympic team? She has done jack crap this year. She's not even in a top 5 position in any defensive category.
Is there another center that's better than her? I don't watch enough to know who's better than her.
You've
honestly.
got Magenberger from Seattle.
Girl.
Hamby. I mean, in my personal favorite, I think Cameron Brink, of all the women, this is a hot take, is going to end up being
she's the best rookie.
She's going to be the greatest. She will have a better career when it's all said and done than Caitlin Clark. Hot take.
I think overall body of work she will. Like
Caitlin Clark, y'all know like the background on her. Like people don't want to like.
She's
I'm big on
was it Kobe or
she looks like a supermodel?
I don't know. Steph Curry, yeah.
She is Steph. Steph Curry is her god brother.
Yeah, they grew up together.
Dale and them, that's her god mom and dad, and she's the god aunt to Steph Curry's kids.
Really?
Yeah. I will say overall body of work, Cameron Brink has a higher ceiling and she's just got better ability. Like Caitlin Clark, nobody wants to say it because she's so electrifying, but she's only electrifying because she can shoot from 50 feet beyond the arc. But outside of that, she's not like
that's pretty electrifying.
Yeah, it is electrifying, but she's a one-trick pony. That's it. She's not a great defender.
She's not Candace Parker.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, she can dish the rock off, but she's just. The downside is right now she is struggling, so it's hard to get that. The marketing will eventually die down if her pace of play and her game doesn't improve. That's just how it works. Like that, you can only capitalize on it for so long. Improve. Yeah, but
you have to be bigger. You have to be a bigger bodied player in the WNBA.
She needs to be Angel Wilson size, honestly. And then
I wouldn't say that. Angel Wilson, you realize she's 6'7"?
She a dog.
Y'all are talking.
But
y'all are talking
like 6'4", bro. Like or is it Obenguama? You know what I'm talking about? She played for Dallas. Oh my gosh, Erica Agumbwali. I can't say her name.
What the WNBA needs is a good rivalry. That's what they need.
You know what?
They need a
Well,
good. They need a.
they pretty much got Bird and Magic right now. Like, but I mean, they're gonna continue utilizing that with her and Angel Reese. Like, I mean, that's what it's gonna be, and that's what. But the only thing that's different with her and Angel Reese, like with Bird and Magic, they were able to go into literally two of the most historic franchises, even at that time, at their rookie year, and then Magic won his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? But like, so they not completely in the same stack, but it's almost like even coming from that, they kind of have that rivalry like they had back in the 80s. Sure. But
I think Reese is low key a hater. She got game. She got game. But I think like she creates this villain aspect of her, and then like I said, like after they lost, everybody was like, "Oh, you guys are ganging up on this girl," but it's like she brought this upon herself, unfortunately. But I do agree. I think Cameron Brink will be. I think she'll be Rookie of the Year, honestly.
I also think this, and again, I'm gonna ride this line of political very, very finely, because I do think this goes a lot into it. Caitlin Clark is getting a lot of unnecessary hate from the outside that isn't her fault. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things in life you cannot like you can't control. Like, we can't control our ethnicity. You can't control that. Mm-hmm. Like, we were born that. So for you to have, like, this is what bothered me over anything here recently, was I can't stand The View. That show is absolutely ridiculous in some of the things they say.
Oh, like Whoopi Goldberg or whatever. Ain't that The View?
Yeah.
Did you see what they had talked about? They started. They said we're trashing Caitlin Clark and saying the bottom line is she is a spoon-fed, white privileged girl from Iowa that is coming into a minority predominantly dominated league, and the bottom line is you have to come in here and you have to what does she put it? She in other words basically was like, you got to know your place. That's not how this works.
I do.
It's not know your place. It's earn your place. You earn it. You don't know it. This is a league of sport. You come in here, it doesn't matter what your background is. What matters is what your skill set and how good, like what person you are. And you can't come in here and try, and again, I feel like they're using this as just another way to try and like bring politics into our sports. And like, I'm sick of it, dude.
Yeah, but like Michael Wilbon and what's his partner's name? I forget. But they had a pretty good take on it. And I mean, I do think her being, I don't agree with whatever The View said, but I do think her being a white player makes it more challenging for her to appeal to the masses of the WNBA. Like, if she came in as a black player, it'd be completely different. But
for sure.
And I think that's the downside to it. And I do think she's getting a ton of fucking hate. Like, I'm in a couple group chats, and like anytime I watch some dude analyze all of these stats about how many shots she takes and percentages, and like basically saying she's not one of the best players ever. And I'm like, but she is. She won a national title. Or no, she didn't win a national title, but she played in the national championship game, all-time leading scorer, and she's a volume shooter. So it's hard to judge metrics on the type of player that she is. She is a volume shooter. She takes a lot of shots, so her percentages aren't always going to be exceptionally well. But yeah, I mean, she's the face of the league, and they got to embrace it. They don't want to embrace it, but she's the reason why y'all ain't fucking flying Spirit Airlines no more. like, let's be honest here.
I think it's a little bit, and I think people will get mad at me for saying this. I think it's a little bit of a reach, and it's almost like the easiest thing to go to when you go to the race argument of it, because well, there's two things I want to say over here. One, I think we can all pretty much agree that right now the GOAT of the WNBA is Sue Bird, and she is a white woman. And Diana Taurasi came in as a white woman, and so I don't know. I mean, and then I guess in the rankings, like Candace Parker's going to be in there. What's the name from throughout the 90s when we were as kids? What's her name?
Cheryl Swoops.
No, the tall one that did all the dunking.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name right now, but. Yeah, I mean, so you got. I don't know.
I don't feed
like.
Into
I mean,
it,
maybe. I mean, is it easier for them? I don't know. I don't think nobody's leaning to it. But at the end of the day, with all this noise going on, and when we talk about women having like women giving her a hard time, and because she's a rookie, and stuff not being fair for Caitlin Clark, everybody's talking about it except for Caitlin Clark. Like, at the end of the day, like, she's taking it. You know what I'm saying? She's like, her and Angel both. Angel's been getting, I saw Angel get her butt knocked down like under the paint like the other day. Like, I mean, like, they're taking it though. They're not making excuses. Like, we are. Everybody else is. Everybody else is making excuses for Caitlin, and Caitlin's like, I'm just gonna keep playing. Like, just.
But Caitlin's also not running her mouth. I think that's my issue. Is
she shows up to play. She talks some shit on the court, but that's it.
Yeah, but she's not coming out here in front of him and running her mouth, and basically, I guess she's not asking for this. Like, she's not over here antagonizing it. Angel Reese is. Like, that's my issue. Is Angel's like putting like gasoline on the fire in this situation.
And she said
to a degree, it's like I would be sick of my post game interviews being asked about another woman in the league. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in
shut it down.
I'm in here hooping. I'm in here hooping, but it's like that's also the media's job they got to stop bringing that up, because all they're going to do is get headlines.
Oh, they're going to.
They're going to get headlines, and that's
they're going to continue.
It's good for the game. It's good to have a rivalry. But I mean,
but I think she does feel into it, because she had a whole like little part in there how she said she doesn't mind being the villain. It says like, I'll be the villain. So I think she's feeding into it a little bit, in my opinion.
But she said something along the lines of like, there's other women that are bringing eyes and something like that. And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but Caitlin Clark is the reason why viewership is up. But did you know the WNBA draft was up viewership? It was like 350%.
It was like 300%. Yeah, it's crazy. Can I say something? Me personally, now I know everybody's story is different. That's that on Fox, that speak on it or something like that show.
Oh, FS1 or whatever.
It was like, it's the one with
it's the older dude. He's like black, light skinned dude. That you talking about?
No, yeah, with Taylor's sister. Jason Taylor's sister.
Oh,
Jason
Taylor?
Joy
Taylor.
Joy Taylor.
Yeah,
like the one that showed with her.
Her McCoy, and
she said that everybody knew who Angel Reese was. And I knew Caitlin Clark before I knew Angel Reese. This is me. I'm speaking on Brandon. Yeah. And I feel like, and I said this out loud, and I said this in a comment section, those people that commented back to me and they agreed with me. I didn't know Angel Reese until she did this in front of Caitlin Clark. Like, I didn't really, or until that's where I really figured out who Angel Reese was. Maybe it's different for everybody else. But I personally remember hearing stories, hey, there's this girl that just don't miss on threes. And then I started like kind of paying attention. And then Angel Reese came. But there's this notion out there that people were saying that that's just me. I think they benefit from each other.
Well, yeah.
But
and Angel Reese played on a star-studded team, but Caitlin Clark took that team to be a number one seed. I mean, it'd be one of the best teams in the country when she was at Iowa. But that's a lot on Caitlin Clark. I mean, the WNBA, it's great.
It was 30 minutes on WNBA. We did good.
As a dad who's got a little girl, I love seeing women's sports thrive. I love seeing women getting their recognition. Speaking of recognition, Doris Burke, she deserves her flowers. First woman ever to commentate in the NBA Finals, and she's doing a hell of a job. It's crazy to think that it took this long, considering how elite of a sideline reporter she's been for the last, 20 years at least. I love Doris Burke, one of my favorites out there. But yeah, shouts out to her. I do got a couple other things I want to get to that aren't going to be as entertaining as the eliteness of the CFL or the NFL, but a couple things I want.
Hey, can I make one comment before we move off the WNBA thing? Because there's one thing that we didn't touch on.
Speak on it.
Yeah, let me just say it with my chest.
Talk your shit.
How do you guys feel about this? Because this is something that I will say I didn't really agree with. We were talking about the Olympics. They're doing that 3-on-3 thing now. Did y'all see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see the team that was picked?
No, I didn't even pick.
They picked Cameron Brink, as they should. They picked another WNBA player, but the third person they picked was not Caitlin Clark. And it should have been. It was Haley Van Leith.
Oh, wow.
who is not even a professional basketball player yet. And I have a problem with that. That felt disrespectful. And if I'm Caitlin Clark, I definitely would feel disrespected.
Yeah, that one wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. The
Well,
only thing I can think of is just maybe it's just the safety concern of that many, the population of what she's going to bring, you know? I know that, I know she's got to be having a hard time being who she is.
how many players are on their 3-on-3 team? Like they got people come off the bench, right? I'm guessing.
I can't assume it's more than one or two.
Olympics 3-on-3 basketball.
So do they treat it like soccer where, like, because I know here with sporting, the players like they got selected for the USA team a few Olympics ago, they left sporting and to play for the USA team, and I think all around the country they do that. Does WNBA do that also? Like players just don't play in the WNBA to go play in the, or is it not happening at the same time?
I don't know.
I thought
You have Cameron Brink, Haley Van Leith, Sierra Burdick, and Ren Howard.
there's 4.
Those are your 4. Yep.
Man, you only got one alternate.
It's just 3-on-3 tournament. How many alternates you need?
I just think I would think you need 3. Like I don't know. That's what I would.
I doubt
I don't
they're
know.
playing full, 48-minute.
They're playing half court, yeah. But I don't know. I guess they have. I shouldn't say alternate. I guess they're alternates because they have bench players. I guess they only want one bench player. But I'm saying they probably do have alternates. Like if somebody gets hurt,
My
and
only
somebody
thing
else
is
ready to go.
Only reason why, if I'm Caitlin Clark, I wouldn't care about Cameron Brink making the team. Based on her position, I wouldn't care about the other girl or the other girl. But Haley Van Lith, considering the fact that I made her my you know what in the entire NCAA tournament, like when we played against each other, like I fucking cooked her ass. I made memes out of that girl.
That's true.
That's a problem, guys. Like that's a problem. That's not only a missed opportunity. But that's
a missed
just
opportunity.
Straight up. That's disrespectful, in my opinion. If I'm Caitlin Clark, I feel disrespected.
And if we want to talk about a little bit more disrespect, I'm gonna bring something that's gonna get Brandon's attention. Your boy Pat McAfee calling Caitlin Clark a bitch. How do you feel about that?
What?
Dang.
You didn't hear that?
When was this?
You didn't hear that? He apologized and everything. He didn't directly say it, but he was like, "You got the baddest white bitch." That's what he was saying. He was like, "And you got the baddest white bitch who doesn't make the Olympics." And I'm like, you can't say that, bro. I know you didn't mean any harm by it, but you can't say that, dog. You didn't hear it? I'm surprised. You watch everything about Pat McAfee.
I haven't watched this show in a
Yeah, he sent out an apology and was like, "I didn't mean it like that," which I'm sure you didn't, but that's a major flub.
I guess I got to watch it, but I don't really.
That's what
I
he
don't
said.
really see that.
You got
You're loose over there, bro.
Yeah.
You're real loose.
Yeah.
I mean,
Y'all been talking? Have you talked about it? Did you call him?
I didn't call him. We ain't talking. We ain't talked in the ever.
Slide in his
But-
DMs. Brandon's in his
Like, he'd be like,
Brandon's in his message request on Instagram. He ain't checking yet.
All right, so
Excuse me, Mr. McAfee. You answer my message, please.
I was looking at this, and they do. So yeah, it does overlap with the season.
What?
Because I just saw the playoffs start in September for
the
WNBA.
really? I didn't think. I thought their season was only like 3 months. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it started in May.
Yeah. That's what it said. 2024. It says playoffs began September 22nd. So yeah, it will overlap with the
let's
USA.
let's be honest. The Indiana Fever are not going to be in the postseason this year.
No. I'm talking about. I'm just talking in general. I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about in general with all the other players. Like, I mean, you got Kelsey Plum, who's just they looking to go back to back. You know what I mean? So
wait. So the Summer Olympics is in September?
No, the WNBA playoff starts in September. So I'm saying their season is going to overlap with the WNBA or with the Olympic season or with the Olympics this year. So I'm saying those players are going to have to, I'm imagining, leave their WNBA teams to play on the USA team. I mean, when you
it's being held from July 28th to August 11th, so it's about 2 weeks. They'll be gone in pairs.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this much: there ain't no way in hell that they're allowing all them girls from Las Vegas Aces to do that and miss the playoffs in a repeat.
They're not that. Yeah,
No, they're not gonna miss the playoffs. But
I mean, honestly, I don't see anybody stopping the Las Vegas Aces for a very long time.
They're so stacked, and when money's not really an option, let's be serious,
they're in Vegas,
right? Like,
and
Wow.
it's like they're not paying them a ton of money anyways. So
no, and you're the only You're the only team that has its own dedicated stadium and training facility.
yeah, I mean,
Like, you're not going nowhere.
yeah, Wilson dropping 30 the other night, and she's been on a tear, bro.
She averaged at 28, dog.
Yeah, it's crazy.
She's averaging a double-double. She averaging 28 and 12 rebounds. And she's also averaging almost 3 blocks a game.
Yeah, she's getting busy.